Simon, instant match reaction. We've lost 2-0. Bit shell-shocked there at the end. We didn't see 2-0 coming. Personally, I said that there's one goal in it. You can see there's a goal in it, and it did come. And I think at 1-0, we basically... Simon's in shock here. Look, man, at the end of the day, you could tell there's going to be a goal in it, and unfortunately they scored it. It was a quality header, and it's very difficult to defend against. The second goal, we just switched off, which is very unusual because a Conte team has that discipline where they stay in the game, and at the end we didn't. That's the first time we've seen that under Conte this season, and maybe towards the end of last season, where we've just shown that old frailty that is still there. So is it the manager, is it the tactics, or is it the quality of players? For me, I think it's a bit of both. I think that we don't have the quality players that people make out. I'm not going to hear about Eric Dyer and Ben Davies and Emerson being good. They're not good enough. For a top 4 campaign, yes. For anything more, I don't buy into it. We'll let the people that call in tonight, people in the comments, decide what they think. That's my opinion. Tactically, I don't like the way we play. I'm bored. And that kind of football tonight, it allows teams to have a chance against us. And I think if you go back last week when we beat Marseille, 11v11, that's probably finishing 0-0. So, look, it's not the end of the world. We were going to lose at some point this season. We've lost tonight. We were never going to go unbeaten during the season. We're going to lose more games. And that loss does put the pressure on us now in the Champions League group. Sporting have gone top, but we get to play them at our ground, so we can correct it. Frankfurt and Marseille are still below us. They've got to play tonight. You know.
You're doing well to bring the positivity here. I like it.
I'm trying, because otherwise I'm going to get bombarded in the comments. But
I think, if we're going to lose a game in the Champions League, that's probably the one that we would thought that would happen in that sense, because we've got some more games left in this group. It's not like it's the end of the world as such, but it goes back to your points though earlier on, and many points that you made throughout the game. It's like, how long can we sustain this level of, I would call it boring lethargicness. I would just call it like there's just no energy or commitment or desire to want to play some free-flowing football or do something out of the ordinary. It's almost like there's too much of a process to it, but this process is not majorly working, and it's not just this game because we've lost it. There's other games. When I come out of the stadium and Spurs home games like that we've been to this season, it's always like, not necessarily got away with it, but it's like, we need to sort out our first half performances. We need to start enhancing the desire in that first half to penetrate these teams, get rid of them. To be
fair, Simon, the first 15 minutes of the first and the second half, it was all Tottenham, and we had chances. Nothing clear cut, but we did have some half chances. Maybe 1 or 2 close range chances that should have gone in. But I do think this game specifically, the first and the second half, we did start really well. As the game went on, though, we kind of went into what we've been seeing the past
this is the problem.
4 or 5 weeks, where it's just boring and lack of creativity, not enough intensity.
How long can you get away with that?
This is the question I've been asking on all YouTube channels and podcasts for the past 4 weeks. I've been saying, is this sustainable? I don't think it is. Tonight is the first crack. Now, is this going to continue, or is this just a blip on the road to where we're trying to get?
I think one thing that doesn't help, and I think we pointed out around sort of 70-odd minutes, like there's mistakes coming in. Like weird mistakes, just like missed passes that are terrible, making clumsy fouls and just not concentrating. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, is this like a confidence thing that just kicks in?
It's because we don't keep the ball. It's because we're not good at keeping possession of the ball. Our possession as a team, I said it early on during the match, I said, our passing is just not very good.
The passing has been terrible. The passing was terrible.
If you can't pass, you can't keep possession.
And there's players there that should be passing a lot better than they do. Even Harry was putting some passes AWOL all over the place. And it's like, well, where's this coming from? Like, the guys have talent. They've got a great manager. And they have the ability as a team to be able to do some great things. But they're just not clicking. And it's not just this game, as we say. We've been saying it for a few games now, collectively on the messages.
We've been getting away with it. We've been getting away with it.
But also, it's like
we were lucky against Chelsea. We were lucky against West Ham. I think against Forest we deserved it because we had a lot of shots and chances. Against Southampton we deserved to win. Wolves it was 50-50. Fulham we 100% deserved to win. We should have battered them. Marseille, it's because they went down to 10 men, some would say. But this result has been on the cards for a while. Any Spurs fan who doesn't see that, I think, is in slight denial because they're scared of losing the positivity from not losing a match.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll say as well, it's happened again. Si and I are in the studio and all hell breaks loose in stoppage time.
Unbelievable.
Every time we come here, Si, this time the drama's gone against us. But 2 goals in stoppage time. Who else does that happen to?
It's crazy. It's
like, do you know what? I'm actually bored of coming here because I know what's going to happen.
Like
I know in the last 2 minutes.
I may as well not turn up to the first half of Tottenham
games.
Blow up. But maybe I shouldn't just turn up to this studio until the last minute. Maybe that's what I need to start doing, and just see what happens, and then I can just have a quick turnaround home, and it's done. But I don't think
if we don't laugh, we're gonna cry.
You can't cry. Let's take this game into the proportion of what it's about, like as the match reaction.
We can afford to lose a game away.
Yeah, we can. But I don't think we deserved to lose, but we do deserve to lose when you make horrendous misjudgments and lack of concentration like that, because you can't get away with that. That's amateur. Those 2 elements of their goals were amateur. It was amateur, a few minutes, it was coming. It was coming towards the end of that game easily. It's not good enough. You have to concentrate throughout the whole game. But I could see it slipping in. Okay, we had control. We had everything.
I'm going to bring up a point. You said we didn't deserve to lose, right? They had 55% possession. We had 45. Mm-hmm. They had 12 shots. We had 12 shots. Mm-hmm. They had 6 on target. We had 5 on target. So from an attacking sense, statistically, and we know stats doesn't mean everything. You do need to add the eye test. But statistically, they were better. Passes, 565. Tottenham, 100 less than them. Clear-cut chances, 2 each. Corners, 5 each. This was a very balanced game. This wasn't one-sided. We weren't in control. This was a balanced game of football.
It was balanced.
The stats back it up. The difference was they took their chances. Now, when you play the football we play, it invites that to happen to us. And that's what happened today. I've been saying for many, many weeks on many channels, go and watch whatever YouTube and podcasts I've been on. I can't remember all the ones I've been on, but I've been saying it. I don't think this is sustainable. At some point, I think the wheels are going to come off this.
Yeah, you're right.
There's 2 things that need to be addressed for me. One, you can't keep playing with the lack of creativity. Change the right back. Change it.
It has to be done now.
Something has to be done.
It has to be done.
And in the midfield, we've got to start controlling games and keeping more possession than what we're doing. And the only way we do that is by either playing a 3rd midfielder in there or taking a bit more of a risk. 1 holding, 1 attacking. But as we discussed during the game, if you're going to play with 1 holding mid, you need a bloody good technical player. And the only one maybe that can do that is Basuma. Maybe. I don't know. But we're going to get more results like this season.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a bit frustrating as well because it's the first loss of the season. We can't forget that. But it's just, again, my major disappointment, like it was most of the time last season, was the lack of concentration and stupid mistakes. Those 2 goals came from stupid lack of concentration and mistakes. And yeah, if we didn't have that, we would have this balanced game, probably ending with the draw. Who knows? But those goals have come from our stupidity. And that was going to be coming in at some point, like you say. How long can we sustain this? But when we can't sustain it, that Marseille game, by the way, was like this, pretty much.
The difference with Marseille is they had no attacking threat, really.
They didn't, but we weren't.
Payet was on the bench. Their main guy, Sanchez, was injured, I think.
It took a player to come off for us to wake up, and another attacking player to come on to do the damage.
Well, when they went down to 10 men, we had Kulu, Son, Kane, and Richarlison on, so we took risk. But it was calculated risk because they were down to 10 men, so we could take off a wing back. Today, he wasn't prepared to do it. You could tell 80th minute we would have been happy with a draw. Sporting weren't happy with the draw. They kept coming.
Do you think it's the mentality of these players then to think that there's actually nothing, whatever way this game goes, doesn't really matter? Do you think that's the mentality of these players today?
So I'll share this with you, then you can decide, right? In academy football, they try and develop the player, not the team. Because the idea is, if you can develop a quality player and develop 11 quality players and put them all together, 11 quality players naturally are going to be good as a team. And then you just shuffle the pack. So, all right, we'll play 4-4-2 or 3-5-2. But if you've got quality players and you put them all together, you're going to get quality results 9 times out of 10. That's the thinking. If you think about the best teams you've ever known, show me a team that isn't just full of quality. When you look at Spurs, how many quality players do we really have? You'd say 7 or 8? And then you've got 5 or 6 where we don't know, and then
Fill gaps.
8, 9 where you say they're not quality. So when you don't have an abundance of quality in a team, this will happen. Sometimes you could say the manager's not getting the best out of them. Well, we said that about Poch, we said that about Nuno, we said that about Mourinho. We're going to start saying that about Conte. It'll be too knee-jerk if we say that about Conte, but there comes a point where you just got to say, stop blaming the frigging managers, stop blaming the players, and just start asking yourselves, are we really bringing in quality in the transfer windows? And look at this transfer window. Perisic, really good signing. You saw the crosses that he put in today. Richarlison's a good signing. Bissouma, well, he's not getting in the team. Spence, does the manager even want him? Doesn't even get in, doesn't come on the pitch. Longley didn't play tonight. So how many players have we actually bought that start for Spurs? 2.
Yeah. And
2. We bought 7 players and 2 start. That says to you, they're not quality.
I think Conte has addressed that.
Simon.
He has addressed that, though. Like, it's going to take a few windows. You've got to be patient. I think it's obviously like frustration from this game is because obviously like, we've lost, which is one of the reasons why I'm frustrated. But it's just I'm just getting annoyed about all these mistakes and stuff. Like, and it's usually the same culprits. Like, I'm trying my best to like back some of these players, but like they just always let me down.
Do you remember what I said during the match? As long as the results are coming in, fans will tolerate this football. Now we've lost, they're not going to tolerate it. It's one thing if you're playing crap and boring, but you win. But if you then lose, you're now entering Mourinho territory. It's only one game, though. It's like you can't overreact.
No.
If we go and beat Leicester 4-0 on the weekend, everyone forgets this game.
Yeah, and I think maybe this is a game that maybe switches us, hopefully, into a different gear or something different. Maybe Conte will realise a couple of things about selecting certain players.
Let me take you back to when Conte first came to England. He lost 3-0 to Arsenal, and then he just switched it the next game.
Yeah.
He said, that's not happening again. Let's see what he does.
Yeah. I don't see such a dramatic change, but I do see. I'm hoping.
You never know.
I think he'll wake up. I think he'll wake up to some of the players now and be like, yeah, okay, this is obvious now. Like this needs to change because we have been riding a form of a storm. I'm not saying we're winning games or we're drawing, which is brilliant, great performances, but you have to understand that also that is we're on the tiering the risk factor here, and it. You know, I don't think we played significantly poorly today, but it's not enough quality and not enough concentration, and that's what's let us down, and the mistakes as well.
We didn't play poorly, but we didn't play good.
No.
And look, one thing I'll say, and I'll say it to anyone watching the show right now, and I've said it many, many, many times. It's all good and well saying we need 3-4 years rebuild and all these windows. Kane and Son are not going to hang about waiting for trophies.
They're
not going to do that. The only reason that we've got them at the club now, especially Kane, is because Conte came in. This is last chance saloon. If you think they're going to hang around for 3-4 years in the hope we win the FA Cup, forget it. You've got to, at some point, Levy, Joe Lewis, you need to start spending proper money on quality players. And Paratici, pull your finger out, man. Demand.
Yeah.
Demand more. Because you're not innocent to this.
I think we've got to be honest as well about this game. Let's say like it was 0-0 and we scored that last winner. Obviously, we'd be ecstatic that we won it, but we could argue that that wasn't good enough still. I think generally, honest, hand on heart, like if we had won that game in the last minute, whether there's an argument to say that we deserved it or not, the fact of the matter is that game was not good enough.
Yeah, but then what you'd hear is you'd put on Talk Sport, you listen to Sky Sports,
Yeah.
and they'd say
Yeah.
they're grinding out results. This is what
Yeah, of
winners
course,
do.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
the reality is, you watch certain teams play, and you see that's what a winning team looks like. Spurs don't look like a winning team. They look like a team that's just trying to get the job done.
Yeah.
And they've been good at it so far.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
It's just finding their feet mentality, but I don't understand that because most of these players, as you said, with the exception of 2, have been playing together for some time, and I don't understand what it is. And maybe we'll get some good reactions from the guys that call in eventually.
We're going to get a lot of call-ins tonight, I can tell.
Yeah,
I'll tell you the only thing that bothered me tonight. The only thing that really, really bothered me. I expected this performance tonight. I predicted it was going to be boring. I said 1-1. I didn't think much. The one thing that bothered me tonight, the ease at which they scored that second goal was unacceptable from a Conte team.
Completely switched off.
Romero not tracking the man. When he does get back, he doesn't put the tackle in. Emerson getting nutmegged. I mean, that is... And then even Lloris, the ball went underneath him. I'm like, geez, man, that's not a Conte team.
Romero is not fully fit.
That's not a Conte team.
Now, Romero is not fully fit.
That last goal was
causing an issue. We said it halfway through the second half. Romero was struggling running back. It wasn't that he didn't want to run back. You could see that he's like, if I push myself right now, I'm going to go down. And it was apparent in that second goal as well. He just did not have the capacity to do what he needed to do. But then that's back to your point about certain defenders maybe should come in. But I don't know. It's difficult. I keep trying not to look at this stupid screen in the corner here because it's showing me highlights of all the mistakes and nonsense that we've just done in this game.
I'll take your mind off it. We've got a super chat from Scorpions Fan for Life. Thanks for the super chat. I'd rather take the loss today to send a message. The question is, will the message be understood?
Yeah.
Will there be a reaction from the message, or is it just message, delete?
And who's it directed at? Because I think some players are probably sitting there going, well, we're not doing too badly, but there's certain players that we know that I try and back them as much as I can, but at the end of the day, Conte is the man that he is. He now needs to step in and go, I don't care about the emotion of certain things or certain players or attachments to fans, and I don't care about this situation in this position. Just start playing some different players. See a different reaction. You're going to get players that are coming in really excited, energetic off the bench because they're like, finally, I get my chance. We can start seeing the likes of Basuma a bit more, hopefully. Kulu should be starting his games. I love Son. But we have to admit now, this is ridiculous.
Kulu was good when he came on. I wouldn't say we lost the game because of substitution.
No, of course not.
We lost the game today because we didn't take our chances, and defensively we just... Listen, I have to give credit to Sporting. That the goal they scored, it was a damn good header. Very hard to defend against that. I would say that us not taking the chances that we did create.
Sorry, fault.
They fell to Emerson. I mean, and that was a bit of a kick in the teeth. But that second goal is unacceptable. That second goal for me, the way he walked it towards our goal, and then he's. But the writing was on the wall in the first half with Marcus Edwards when he dribbled past 4 players. So
it's funny that it's the exact matching kind of time in that second half that they woke up.
Yeah.
Could that be a bit of research to suggest that we lack concentration in those elements of time?
Spurs just need to learn how to keep possession of the ball and wear teams down a bit. We don't play that football at all. And at this level, if you're not going to have possession enough, the other team, if they have got the ball, which they will do, they can create. And they're going to have chances. And they took theirs tonight. And that's what happens. Simon, do you know what it is? There's layers and layers and layers of things. It's transfer windows, it's quality of personnel, it's tactics, it's up here, it's not taking chances, it's poor. It's not one thing, it's layers. But we've seen, because we've been through this many, many times as Spurs fans, you kind of, you know where the problems lie. But again, I don't want to be knee-jerk because...
No, of course not.
It's one loss in 7. It's one loss.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world by a long way.
If we had, I don't know, played poorly, I don't think we played badly in this game. I just think there was just lack of nothing or anything happening. But if we played poorly, it's a bit different conversation. But, Yeah, there's just I've said the word a few times tonight, like lethargic. It just feels like there's no spark or energy there, whether that's a playmaker-related situation or just like everyone's tired. That's not an excuse. We're like 5-6 games into the season. And I haven't actually, in this whole season, bar some snippets in some games, seen a really progressive, energetic Tottenham team yet. And it can't be the excuse
Fulham
of like...
is the only game, I think.
In patches there were. But again, we switched off for their goal as well. So there's things. They need to be addressed. I'm surprised they haven't been addressed yet. And why on earth are we not, from the gung-ho of the first minute, going out to attack these teams? I've said it even last year. Like, I'm just fed up with it. I want to see us out the gate.
Well, the thing is, we did attack. The first 10, 15 minutes of both halves, we did. The problem is, because we don't keep possession, we don't sustain like a long period of, wave after wave after wave of attack, a real 30, 40-minute period of just dominance. We don't do.
Yeah.
Just a couple of super chats. First one from Dylan. Emerson needs to not play another game for us. Smiling when drawing, can't attack or defend, and at fault for both goals, needs to start Doherty or Spence. Dylan, I am one fan that will not disagree with you on that. Thanks for the super chat. Also, thank you to Espen, who says, how poor is Spence to not even get 5 minutes on Royale? Is he poor, or is he not a Conte signing? He's the only player Conte made a comment about.
He can't be poor. Like, we've seen his ability.
Conte said it's a club signing. He said it's an investment for the club.
Yeah, I think there's like a distancing going on there to suggest, like,
is there an
if
issue
this
there?
Goes badly, it's not my problem. But yeah,
shifting the blame in case it goes wrong.
Yeah, but that's not the right mentality. This guy has talent. Like, all the people that are Forest fans will tell you left, right, and centre that this guy is.
But what if the manager doesn't want him signed?
Regardless of the manager, he's better than Emerson, in my opinion. Like, from an attacking perspective and defensively, and he's proven that, albeit not in the Premier League. There comes a point you have to draw a line, and that's not just with him. We talk about Son and stuff as well. By the way, it's not a Son attack because I back Son every match.
So what do you say to fans who say, if Conte wants him, I want him. I trust Conte. What do you say to those fans? Because that will be the reply if you ask for Spence to be playing ahead of Emerson. That will be the response.
You've also got to understand, like, we can't keep watching these kind of efforts and performances. Like, I'm not saying they're gigantically terrible, but as you said about the quality or the effort, something needs to change. I want to see a bit of flair, and the flair players are not on that pitch right now. They used to be a few years ago, some of the ones playing today. But if you put Spence, if you put Spence on there, you've got a phenomenal attacking right wing back that fits the Conte system. He plays like a right.
Is he phenomenal? That
he'd be a fantastic player.
Did well in the Championship.
Is he better than Emerson? I think he is.
Well,
is he better than Doherty? Yes. And he hasn't even had the chance to prove it, so we can't even argue this properly. But if you also have Kulusevski, if the other team players are not up to scratch or not performing in the way they are, we need to grow up as a club. We have to do that because all the other teams do it. If a player in City, no matter how good they are, they get dropped. They get dropped.
I agree.
Like, I love Son. I absolutely adore Son, but again, another poor performance. Put him on the bench. Let him chill out. Come on.
Is our style of play killing some of our players at the moment? Is it?
I don't think the style of play is there because the right players aren't on the pitch right now to do it. If you have Spence and Kulu and all the other Richarlison, Kane, all these players, you've got all of a sudden got more attack on these whips. Then it's brilliant. But at the moment, there's 2 or 3 players in here where 2 more other players have to come in and cover their positions.
I totally agree with you. I'm just trying to draw you out.
No, but
I totally agree.
It's factual. If you go and watch the games physically, or you watch them on TV, analyse this game properly, not just this game, but all the games, you will see that 2 or 3 other players get taken out of their correct positions to go and try and cover the positions that aren't doing their job properly. And we can't afford to do that. And we will get hit hard. We played Lisbon today. City could have been a different story. All these bigger teams, these better teams that we have yet to play, will hit us hard if we don't wake up to this. And I think it's time. There's a drawn line here. Even if we had won this game today, it's so evident that something needs to swap around.
If we had won today, nothing would change. Nothing. Because we're getting results. Look, part of me, and I shouldn't say this as a Spurs fan, I'm glad we lost. part of me, I'm happy we lost.
It's almost like the Nuno situation, isn't it? We wanted to lose that one to have a change made. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it shouldn't have to come to that.
I wanted this to happen,
have to.
so that something, because look, I get the results over performance, and I get people saying, you know, as long as we get results, and I'm not against that. I'm not against that. What I am against is this was the big summer window that was built up by the media and certain journalists. Fans are saying, you know, he was backed, he got his players in, and then I'm watching this, I have a problem. Because I don't think it's sustainable. And I've said it time and time and time again. And Simon, listen, I get called negative, toxic, rain cloud, you name it, I get it. Because I say these things. Well, to all of you that say that to me, take a look at tonight. I called this was going to happen one day.
Yeah, I think...
And it has. That's why I said tonight 1-1.
This is the game...
I wasn't expecting us to play great, and we didn't.
No, and this is probably the game out of all of them in the current fixtures, the previous fixtures, that we would probably have to have a result like this, because now hopefully they can reflect on this and say it's just not good enough. Something needs to change, effort-wise and mentality-wise, concentration-wise, and switch it around. You know, the Leicester game, right? And no disrespect to Leicester.
By the way,
we should be winning that one.
I put money we beat Leicester.
But will we play the
money
same,
down?
Will we
beat
play
Leicester.
the same team? And if we win,
I think
then
we're
all is
gonna,
forgotten. This is the problem.
I think we're going to absolutely pummel Leicester. I said in whose show was I on? Was it Henry's? I remember I said that I think we're going to draw tonight. I don't think we're going to play well, but we'll just somehow scrape a win, a draw. Got that wrong. We lost. It was worse than what I thought.
It was very close to being a draw. Very close.
Yeah, it was very close to being a draw. But against Leicester, I think Spurs will. I think we'll win by 3-4 goals.
Yeah,
I do, because they're rubbish, man. They're bottom of the league. They haven't won a game.
Yeah,
5 losses in a row. I know people say, "Oh yeah, but perfect game to bounce back." We're at home. We'll beat them.
Yeah, we should be winning now.
I don't know about the style of play.
Yeah,
but we will put 3 or 4 past them. We will.
I think it's a bad game to sort of have a comparison towards, or like define what will happen, because we're expected to try and win that one in the way that Leicester have been playing, etc. As I said, no disrespect to them, but like the games beyond that, it's going to be really interesting if the team stays as it is, because we think it's Leicester coming up, and there's almost a sense of arrogance or ignorance to that.
Saturday night under the lights at home.
I think it's
we'll beat them.
It's fine, but
we'll beat them.
I want this situation to be addressed though. I don't want to just pave over cracks for one more game and then hope for the best for the next one after that.
I guess we'll see what he does next game in terms of team selection. My biggest concern at the moment is, and it's the number one factor why I think the players not great with these players. You can't persist with this system if you don't have players for the key creative components. If he carries on with 3-4-3, but he starts Spencer Doherty and just does something a little bit different in the middle in terms of a more creative-minded player, I can get it. I think that will change a lot in terms of performances. If we go and sign Milenkovic, Savic, and Dumfries, for example, a top right back and a top attacking mid, that will change a hell of a lot in this team. But we don't. We haven't bought those players.
No,
we didn't do it. Let's see what we do in January. Let's see what we do next summer. But until then, we've got 12 games in about 6 weeks. And you're right. It can't keep being like this football. We'll end up coming unstuck.
Yeah.
Should we wrap it up and then have a break, and then we'll go to the fan calling?
Let's get those callers in.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching so far. We'll be back shortly for the fan call-in. Tell us what you think. Let us know how you feel. You've heard what we think. That's our instant reaction. We will be back soon.